Since it started all the way back on the 3DO, the Need for Speed series has certainly gone through a lot of different iterations. It's gone from arcade racer to simulation to multiplayer fun, and now back to arcade racer by the hands of Criterion Software, who also developed the magnificent Burnout series. This is arcade racer, right?
Yes.
And you even called it?
There are, you could say this is a spiritual successor to Burnout Paradise. Given that, it's a great big open world racing game and it's a Criterion game, so, you drift pretty much all over the place.
And choose your own challenges and
yeah.
Most everything. Okay, but let's take it from the start.
Right.
Arcade racer, what does that mean?
That means you can crash into stuff and not get destroyed. Or you can crash into stuff and really get destroyed and then just drive on afterwards as if nothing happened. And it means one small tap of the brake button and your butt squeaks out and you're going sideways through a corner, and that's awesome.
Power slide.
Power slide. So that's essentially that. The structure is, they're doing something quite different from what we're used to in racing games, because normally you're sort of, you start out with a crap car and then you slowly work your way up to the really, really nice stuff. Not here. Instead, almost all of the sub 40 cars that are in the game are just parked throughout the world, and racing is just a matter of driving up to it and picking one up. So within minutes of starting the game, you start out with a Porsche 911 Carrera, and nice. Within minutes, you take a right after the first race and go down the road a few miles, and then you find an area lad in 500. And you can be driving a Gallardo within minutes of starting the game. So there's no, you get to skip all the boring stuff in a way.
Sounds like Pokemon, the car game.
In a way, yeah. And then there are a few cars that you have to unlock, because as you're racing and doing stunts and crashing through billboards and slides and drifts and passing speed cameras, you accumulate speed points. And once you've accumulated enough speed points, you can take on the most wanted drivers, which is 10 really exotic cars driven in 10 really special, pretty high stakes racing. And then as you get enough speed points, you can challenge those guys. And then once you've beaten them in a race, you can take them out and win their car.
Of course. But speaking of the previous iterations of the Need for Speed series, the Underground series became really big when it came to customization of your car. Is this part of the game?
This is nothing like that. There is a small level of customization. As you win a race with a car, or if you finish first or second, you'll usually win some sort of upgrade. Like nitrous boost is the first one always, and then stuff like long gears, short gears gives you a higher top speed or a higher rate of acceleration, or like track tires or off-road tires, a strong chassis, a light chassis, and more aerodynamic body, stuff like that. But it all falls into those little categories, and there's no you can't adjust the individual gear ratios or anything. You can't paint your car. You don't even choose the color of your car.
Okay.
And there's no really cosmetic difference to what upgrade you pick and choose. It's more of a matter of picking the right stuff for the right kind of race.
Okay. So one of the things I loved about Burnout Paradise was just exploring the world from the seat of your car, just driving around and finding challenges and everything. Is that the same here?
Yes and no. The world is huge, and it has pretty much everything you would want from a sort of arcade racing environment, from like twisty backstraight roads and great big highways and mountains and wild jumps and lots of off-road areas and building sites and parking garages and lots of stuff to explore. And throughout the world, there's a bunch of speed cameras that, when you pass them, records your speed and then compares it to your friends on auto log and speed wall. There are jumps where if you smash through a billboard, it'll record your air time and then put that on the speed wall, and then you can see whoever has the longest air time or the highest jump then through a billboard, his gamer tag or profile picture will be displayed on that billboard. So that's cool. As for the actual challenges, though, there's this weird structure where your car decides what races you can participate in, and every car only has 5 events attached to it. So you do those 5 events, and you're basically done with that car. As long as you win every single race, you'll get every unlock pretty much for the car, and then you're done. There's nothing left to do with it except doing the most wanted races, obviously. Okay. So you get this, depending on which cars you go with, you get this wide range of vehicles that seems slightly boring to what you're already driving. Like, I got a Lamborghini Gallardo really early, and that car is awesome.
It's no Ariel Atom, but
The Atom is also awesome. But anyway, you know, like once you have those two under your belt and you've done everything with those, like going back to a sort of Camaro,
yeah,
or
being forced back.
yeah, or like a Ford Focus, or it feels like, why would I want to drive this when I have this awesome other car?
Of course.
So, in a way, you get to a point where single player feels kind of lacking in content because you've done some really fun stuff, and then there's a bunch of not so fun stuff left for you to do. That, you know, why should you bother?
But is there any reason to take these, let's call them lesser challenges, or is it just for the completionist?
It's just for the completionist. That and you rack up the speed points, which, you know, also compares to, that carries over into multiplayer, and, you know, with your friends list you can say, well, I've played more Need for Speed than you using those.
And let's talk about that, because of course the auto-log is a big part of the game again, and it almost seems like multiplayer kind of seamlessly crosses over into single player. Am I right?
No. No, not at all, actually. You go to the Easy Drive menu, which is on the corner of the screen, and then you select multiplayer, and then the game finds a game for you and throws you in there in free drive, and then you're free to roam around. And once there's enough players in the game, the host picks a speed list, it's called, which is a series of 5 events that you then do. So you get like a mix of races and sort of weird non-race events that are fun, but a little weird. Like stuff like, it can be everything like from passing by a speed camera really fast. Who gets the highest speed?
Yeah.
You have a minute, go past that speed camera, get the highest score. There are others that are more esoteric, like do the longest drift you can beneath this cooling tower, or drive off this bridge, land on this thing the crane has lifted up and park there for 20 seconds is an event. Or there's one where you have to do 20, combined between you, all the players have to do 20 takedowns on the top of a hangar. Yeah, we have to do a flying jump across from another hangar. And it's weird, but it's fun.
Okay.
And then obviously there's traditional racing, and there's team racing where you're fighting, you know, to take down opponents, not your teammates, and then get across the goal line first. That works really well.
And does it have enough content, and is it fun enough to keep you engaged?
Yeah, I think so. And I've played. Obviously, we got the game before release, so there wasn't that many people online to play. But I did get to play it for quite a few hours. I didn't see the same one twice.
Okay.
Which is good. And, you know, it takes you all over the map pretty much. There's a ton of different places you go and a ton of different events. I didn't see any repeats as I was playing, so that's cool.
So, it sounds to me that in anything but name, this is pretty much the new Burnout.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, Criterion's last Need for Speed game, Hot Pursuit, was also pretty much a Burnout in everything but name, but that was a different Burnout. That was like old school Burnout. This is more like Burnout Paradise. But yeah, it's a lot like Burnout, you know, given that it's a Criterion game. So if you like Burnout, you'll like this.